Got it? Not too many Champion blower videos out there. So this one, I guess, sat for 2 years out in the woods. It has hardly any running time on it. So this is what I discovered. Water and fuel. We're going to get that completely cleaned out. Okay. Then, I'm going to come right over here. Here's the carburetor. You take a look. That right there was just, I kind of mushed it out with my finger. But that's how bad that is. And this this blower, see if you can see the numbers on that. Let's see if we can get down there closer. There we go. All right, there's the carburetor number. All right. Now what we're going to do is, this carburetor, all right, I guess I could clean it right out, but down the inside of it, that was just solid corrosion from here right up through the draft tube. Okay. And the reason I'm bringing this out is a lot of you guys have done these carburetors, but I was going to show you something that was pretty remarkable. And I had to do a little looking up on it. Take a look at the off and on lever on this. Let me get back here a little bit. Okay. So then you got your fuel shut off right here, right? Okay. Notice there's no like sediment bowl filter right there. A lot of that reason is because they say, well, there's a filter screen up in the tank. All right. Well, I did a little research and I have it coming today. It's this carburetor exactly. And I mean, well, the only modification is what I'm going to tell you, but itself, its only modification that I've got coming is it has the sediment bowl right here. So I had to double check, right, when I ordered it to make sure that, there's your cover, right, goes on your carburetor, that there was room back here for it. And I found out there was. See this big void right here where you see those numbers? There's a perfect void there. So it actually can be, something for that. Okay. And anyhow, all the gaskets are coming with it in the whole 9 yards. And, some of them, and I want you to remember me telling you this, some of these carburetors come right off of Hondas, like the GX160, etc. Yeah, because these are all knockoffs. I know that it's part Predator motor in my mind, and then in part Honda combined. All right, when it comes to these Champions. And the guys that are out there working on them every day, they do a ton of generators, right? They tell you all kinds of stuff about those things, but I have not seen one yet when it came to a blower. So, anyhow, I'll tell you this right here, just give you a good example. That's a temporary off-on switch, right? So you want to kill the engine, you're pushing down, right? Okay, so a wire comes into this and comes out of it, all right? And over here, let's go around the front. Oh, the other side, sorry. A lot of people don't know what these are, and they get confused as to what they really are. But, a lot of you guys out there know, I understand. All right, but they're low oil sensor limit switches, okay? So that being said, when you unplug this, right, and then you say, gosh, well, how do I test this, okay? So you pull these two wires off, so they're like sticking right at you, and you put a continuity tester in it, and you want continuity through that. Are we clear? In the event that the oil gets too low, this is designed to cut off, act just like this, and shut the spark off. Okay? So check your oil. It's a way of protecting the engine. All right? So here's the model number of it right here. All right? Now, most of the time, when you're looking up this engine, you're going to ask yourself, well, gosh, what is it? What kind of a motor is it? And that's the thing. Champion has all the parts for this. You can get it online if you want, etc. And a lot of parts on eBay, because these are similar engines to the Honda, right? And the Predator. It's like they got the Predator outsides, right? But everything around it, absolutely. There's so much stuff on here that's Honda. It ain't funny. All right. So here's your your air filter, right? You want to clean it out. I know this is going to sound a little like basic, but just understand I'm doing this for the video. See how you can see light through it? See what I'm saying? All that light. Still in good shape, all right? I'm not being a pincy butt about it, but, you know, it's a good filter, and we're still going to keep on to it. So, all right, just to give you a little insight, all right? These right here, see these? All right, I'll give you an example. That's 8 millimeters. All right, 10 millimeter. See what I'm saying? So be aware of, oh, and also one thing. All right, in the carburetor, when it's sitting on here, there's linkage. And there's some linkage right here. I want you to look at this. Let me get you down here a little easier now. Can I get it down there more? Okay, here we go. Now, hang on. See how there's a coil spring right there? Don't let that deceive you. See right here? Now watch. There's another one back in here. Sorry. There's one here and there's one back there. Don't get those two confused when you're hooking them back up. They're kind of self-explanatory, and I'll tell you why. See how this one is up here? It's long. It's almost as long as the actual throttle control. This one is on your, ready? Watch. That hooks to this guy right here. You know what I'm saying? So when it goes back and, you know, it goes up and on, you know, you're like, man, where does it go? Okay. Let me turn this all the way around backwards here so you can see it. Well, you know what? I got to tell you, cameras and brackets don't usually like to work together, do they? There she be. Right there. Oh, look, that's at the bottom of the handle. So what that's doing is running your throttle. You know what I'm saying? Down here at the machine. Yet, you've got a throttle right here. Okay? Up here in this way. So you can throttle it in two different places depending on the circumstances. All right? Now this is what you call your auto control. This right here. Turn that in, you turn that out. Turning it in increases your low idle. Okay, so let's say I want to, I don't know why you'd ever mess with this, but at the same time somebody gets in here before you do. Here's a good, see how it's at, right at 50-50? That's never been touched. You know what I'm saying? So, anyhow, if you ever want to change this throttle cable, you just undo this nut, right? Come all the way up in here. And then you, sorry, let me get this thing back where we can actually see it, okay? And reduce and remove this. Okay, then inside, there's a lever that has a very, very similar setup to right there. And then you just remove the cable and change it out. But I'll tell you what I see with this one is, look here. All the way down here. Somebody made a little tower. So that goes and gets towed behind his equipment and gets going down the road. So anyhow, you know, this can apply to all the different size blowers themselves. Because you can check your oil on this side and check your oil on the other side. Right now I've got the plug out because I'm, you know, dropping the oil out of it and, you know, make it good. Don't forget that you got a little washer here. Make sure that baby's on top of there. And it goes back in. And then when you're filling it back up, most people are like, oh gosh, you know, I don't know what to do. Just because I have this one out, right, there's obviously a high and a low mark on this specifically. Let me see if I can get that down there a little bit easier and get the shine out here. But anyways, the high mark's right up here, and obviously you want it somewhere here in the operating range. But back in here, when you can see the oil up halfway up the threads, we know she's full. Okay, just want to let you know. That's how you check that kind of stuff out. Spark plug right here. All right, the old spark plug's right here. And that's cleaned with my wear wheel, by the way. That thing was almost rust from the water being inside. So what I did is I put down in here, I sprayed some what they call contact cleaner in here. Why? Well, contact cleaner can absorb water and leaves no residue, right? And leave the plug out, you know. So that got squirted down inside there, right? You know what I'm saying? And I slowly moved it up and I slowly moved it down in case any water droplets were left inside. And the reason I know that there's water in here because when it was left out for all those years, the spark plug hole was open. Now they had another tarp over the top of it, but that doesn't mean condensation didn't get down inside it. So I took a scope, which I have, a camera, and I went down inside, and yeah, I saw water deposits on top of the piston. I didn't see any like major rust, but you know what? I gave it a little WD-40 dusting, not a half a can went down there, just a dusting. Okay, and then of course, you know, these hoses. All right, a lot of guys will get them and they're like, man, my hoses came off. Look, they're pretty explanatory. That's smaller hose, that's a bigger hose, and that hose goes right up to the tank. That's an emissions deal. Okay, see, it comes down here to this thing. And one day I want to figure out how we can just get rid of these completely, but right now I'm not interested in doing that. So like I said, right here on the back, see them 2 ports? You got a great big one right here, big one and a little one. They represent obviously these 2 here, right? That's crankcase vent, and then you've got you know, this is that line that runs down in here, you know, to this VAP recovery horse shit thing, probably for California. I'm not knocking California, but their emissions are nuts. And then, like down inside here, right there, I'm gonna have to try to get these out of here without busting them. But there's a screen down in here, right? And it's not a 2-cycle engine; it's 4-cycle, so they'll hardly ever get bad. But I'll give you guys a trick. If they start getting rusty really bad, take some CLR on a paintbrush and grab my ear holes and bust all that out. Believe me, she'll be clean and run smooth as all double toothpicks. So anyhow, let me look over here. Uh-oh, here comes Boone. Make this one last. Sorry, it's probably too long of a program, so I'll cut it off right now. Next project.